Most people, when they think about brand as it relates to HR, would speak about the employment brand, which, by the way, we learned from marketing, right? The word brand wasn't made up by HR. It was saying, well, if there's a customer brand, then there's an employment brand. But today, we're focusing on the HR brand. So what's the reputation? What's the presence that we have of the human resources function within the organization? And the question that I'm proposing to you is that, is there something we can learn from how marketing has built its brand as the intelligentsia, as the intelligence of the organization, and therefore vital to the success of the organization? And if I was in the public sector, I'd be thinking more in terms of how do you actually reach the citizens, marketing, how do you reach the customer and hear their voice? Then what ends up happening is, how does the HR brand compare with that marketing brand? And so we're going to be thinking about the unique value proposition of HR and marketing and what they can learn from each other, what HR can learn from marketing. From my perspective, I'd love to see the HR brand shift where you were asked, who's your customer? And you said, the customers of the business. We got the exact same customers as everybody else. And in fact, if I'm in the public sector, I want you to be thinking about the citizen. If you're in HR. If I'm in colleges, I want you to be thinking about the student. I don't want HR to be thinking about employees. I want you to be thinking about employees with a line of sight. So the student experience, if I'm in a hospital, I want to be thinking about the patient experience. And then ultimately, I'm doing everything internally with a line of sight to that. So policy and programs and operations and administration in the public sector will be all with a line of sight to the external customer, including HR, plus the same model that we would use there. And marketing's been doing this for years. Marketing on the 4 Ps, put promotion, put the ability to ultimately get their voice heard outside of the business and promote is owned by marketing. HR needs to learn from marketing to build its brand, to own its own promotion internally. So marketing really, is very good at saying, what's the best channels to reach a customer? So should I be reaching the customer through incentives? Should I be reaching the customer through a variety of other, coupons and through different kinds of things? Should I reach the customer through social media? How do I actually do these kinds of things? And then finally, what we'd also say is, what's the best way to engage them? Should I be engaging the customer at the point of, 8 in the morning? That's when they tend to read their information, or 2 in the afternoon, or maybe at night. Can we get more sophisticated within HR to know even when we communicate to employees to increase the probability they'll hear the voice? What I'm arguing for is not a communications business partner dedicated to HR, but rather HR takes ownership of internal communications. You own it, and therefore HR becomes the internal voice of the organization for everything the organization is doing, not just HR. We have a new product, we have a new service, customers are excited, we've transformed the community in a different kind of way. And by the way, we have introduced a new mechanism to hear what you want to say. So I can layer in my HR as another piece within a broader voice, reaching you in the way that you want to be reached, through the medium that you want to be reached, anywhere, anytime, anyhow. We do it internally the way it's being done externally.
There are points in time in a business when you go through your change influx where you need to see your HR leader at the front leading, inspiring, bundling all of those amazing things that they're doing to help an organization succeed and help give people what they're looking for is, how are you helping this organization and me be ready for things that I can't even see coming? So it's the criticality of a narrative. Our marketing people are so good at this. They're so clear at, this is what we're going after. This is aspirational vision. We don't know if we're going to get there, but man, we're going to convince you we're getting there. And here are my key messages.
The only limitation is your own, and that really in today's environment, ever changing, this is the time now to kind of step out of where you are, and everybody's part of the same. Everybody wants to win, and that's where you need to be thinking versus I'm in one little area.
And our brand is control. And if the brand is like that, we've got to break the brand as a potential barrier to being accepted as a voice that will allow us to deliver external customer value.
The importance of new skills and different kinds of leaderships in this very changing marketplace. Marketing and HR and really all of the organization's departments have to work together. But certainly something like recruitment aging population of the workplace. All these factors are making HR, this is where it's going to happen, and marketing and HR have to work together because we have to be out there understanding what the market needs and wants and working with our partners so that we are actually attracting the right skills and preparing for new skills.
David really introduced the concept of, internal communication sitting with HR. And I can say I have that. I also have external, and I find it powerful. And do I get to my end goal faster? Absolutely. But to use David's language, just because you don't have it doesn't mean that it should be a barrier. And I think that if you go back to the previous concepts of what do you stand for, what is your brand, make that very palpable in the organization, I think you bring people to you because they want to jump on and support, and they see the power across the organization. So although I do think it's easier when it's strictly in your function, I really believe that if you really get your HR brand right and people understand it and they find it compelling and they see how it's going to drive the business, you're going to get all of the resources that you need to get your job done.